We'll call our meeting to order. This is July the 26th, 2016. It's 5 p.m. Lawrence County Board of Commissioners meeting. Can I get a roll call, Mr. Clerk?
Yoakum.
Here.
Story.
Here.
Spearman. Robertson.
Here.
Neeksess. Modlin.
Here.
Keaton.
Here.
Jackson.
Here.
Hood.
Here.
Harris.
Here.
Gillespie.
Here.
Franks.
Here.
Eaton.
Here.
Clifton.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Brewer.
Here.
Middlefield Ronnie.
Here.
Middlefield Delano.
Here.
16 present and 2 absent.
We'll have the invocation by Representative Barry Doss, followed by the pledge for Scott Franks.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, thank you so much for this wonderful day that you've given us, and thank you, Lord, for the community and the state that we live in. And Lord, you've blessed us in so many ways, and we want to give you praise and glory and honor for that. And Lord, thank you for all these people, citizenry, that have come here to express their opinions to the county commission, and be with all the men and women that have freely given their time to serve their community. Lord, I ask you to continue to lead, guide, and direct each one of us so that we can carry on the county's business and continue to lead, guide, and direct us in all matters. And I ask these things in Christ's holy and precious name. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Green, you sign this for me, please. Yes, sir. You can just sign right there beside Joel. Thank you. We've got two groups with us tonight. One group is from the Appleton community, and another group is from the Iron City utility committee. How many of you are from the Appleton group? Okay, start a church with you folks. How many are from the Iron City utility district? Okay, just so that the commission understands who's here tonight. We've got some public comments, and the first name on the list is Mr. Owen Keaton. You would have 5 minutes to.
Okay, I shouldn't take that long. Thank you for the time. I'm a landowner in Appleton. Have been for 20-something years. Have family buried in the cemetery there at Appleton, and plots for myself. A lot of my family's from that area and raised in that area. Ever since I can remember, the road has been open down to the creek. I live across from Bob Boyd, maybe 1/8 of a mile from the cemetery there, but I like being able to ride down to the creek for whatever reason. It's just always been open. I was disappointed to find out there was a letter sent to, I believe, to Mr. Gillespie that used my name, saying that I was opposed, that I wanted the road closed. I didn't say I wanted the road closed, and I didn't appreciate my name being used without permission that way. But anyway, I'd like to see it stay on. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Becky Myers.
Ladies and gentlemen, and all of the county commission, on behalf of the Southeast Lawrence County, I would like to, on behalf of us, all of us from Appleton, and all the surrounding communities, we would like to thank the Lawrence County Commissioners for y'all's continued representation of our citizens and y'all's support for all the communities throughout the county. The signatures right here, there's approximately 250 signatures here. And we want to present those to y'all to demonstrate the plea for the continued support to the commission and those who live in the Appleton community. The Appleton Road at Sugar Creek is an historic road which is named the Florence-Pulaski Turnpike, and was traveled both by the Union and the Confederate soldiers in the Civil War that was fought at the Battle of Sugar Creek in both Lawrence and Giles County. We want to save this road because it's the link to the past that we do not want lost forever. This road has never been closed in Lawrence County. And that side crosses over to Sugar Creek, over the whole Sugar Creek, over into the Giles County line. This it wants to be continued, and I think that it needs to be continues to be graded and kept and bush hogged by the road commissioner, as the other roads in Lawrence County needs to be continued to be done so. And I think up until maybe the gate was put up, it had been continued to be done so. And I myself mowed down to the creek last weekend, and it looks a whole lot better. I was just kind of helping the county out, and that even helped it even more so.
We appreciate your help.
And we want the gate and the post removed from the right-of-way at Dobbin Cemetery, and we would like a place to turn around on both sides at Sugar Creek. We also wanted to be able to access the Owens Cemetery and the old Appleton Cemetery on Mr. Green's property. That is an old cemetery, and I think maybe he probably knew that when the property was bought.
Is that the one that's drawn up down there, Becky?
Sir, there's an old cemetery, I think.
That's the one that's drawn up off the side?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. The Appleton Road at Sugar Creek is an historical landmark for the Appleton Church of Christ site, and it's a site of historical ceremonies. Although the church now provides modern facilities, as most churches do, there's an option for a lot of people that wants to be baptized at the creek. You know, as all of us know, history repeats itself. And young people now may want to go down to the creek and be baptized, and that should be their option, to go down to the creek and be baptized. As maybe some of y'all's relatives were baptized there. And the closing of this road would be an assault and a restriction on their religious freedoms and rights. You know, and like again, you know, some of y'all's relatives were probably baptized down there. The last battle of the Civil War was fought at Appleton Road and Sugar Creek, and has been marked an historical site by the Historical Society and Daughters of the American Revolution, among others. Descendants of the Civil War visit this area. Citizens living in this area and all across the United States come to Appleton to visit this historical site. And citizens living in this area wish to reserve the fundamental right to visit areas of their ancestors that died in this battle. Furthermore, it's important to the Appleton community and to the state of Tennessee to promote and reserve the history of this area for all of Lawrence County and to the future of the communities. The Appleton Road at Sugar Creek is the only site for the community to launch also small craft for navigating the creek. By closing this road, it will deny the community access to the most important and necessary resource, which is water. Although there are other smaller creeks, Appleton Road provides the only safe road and reasonable access to water to sustain farm and people. There are no public water utilities in Appleton, as all of y'all are aware. And I know y'all are all working diligently to obtain city water, but as of right now, there is no public water for Appleton. And during the dry season, which I myself ran out of water last week, and it is a terrible thing to do. And if there was a brush fire or any kind of fire in Appleton, that would be the fireman's quickest access to water would be Appleton Creek. And so if they had to extinguish a fire, that would be their quickest way to get it, would be down there. Water could be accessed quickly if needed from Sugar Creek, but not if they had to worry about getting a key. We do not have city water in this area, and there would be families that are forced to get water to survive from the springs and the Sugar Creek. God has blessed us with Sugar Creek. That is a gift that we have that some communities don't have. So please, grant us our access to Sugar Creek. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg. Mr. Hill is here, is one of the property owners. Mr. Hill?
The big issue is hoodlums, riffraff, bums, drunks, drug addicts. Call them what you will. It's like I said a couple of weeks ago, the people in this room are not the problem. There's no public property down there. There hasn't been any public property down there for years. Do we care if people go down there with their kids and play in the creek? No. Do we care if people go down there and get water? No. Do we care if people go down there and they get drunk and they break things and they set off fireworks and they start fires at the end of the road while they're camped out, and they start them down at the swimming hole, and they strip dirt bikes down there, and they remodel the kitchen and dump their garbage down there? Yes, we care. We're tired of it. It's a beautiful area. Everybody that's been down there knows it's a beautiful area. I had a good spot on my side. It's grown up. Every time I went down there, I had to clean it up before I could do anything. Why should I provide a picnic area for other people when I can't enjoy it? I've owned land down there for right at 20 years. It goes like this. Sometimes it's great. Right now it's lighting up a little bit because they know the visibility's there. Give it a month or two, the visibility goes down, here they all come right back again. The guy that almost died down there in May, after they stole the chairs out of the music house, drove down to the creek, the guy had to get flown out. He passed out in the creek. Not unusual. First time I've known one passing out in the creek. People go down there, they're drunk, they're playing around, they get stuck in the creek, gotta get pulled out. You name it, I've seen it down there. I'm tired of it. I understand it's a county road right now. It shouldn't be. Okay, it's a county road to private property. Yes, the creek is not private property. I'm not saying it is. Okay, people need to go down there. That's not a problem. But we might help. We're tired. Okay, every time I go down there, I have a feeling of dread. I actually had a first the other day. I actually had a kid actually ask me when I was down there where the road went. And when I told him it was closed, he actually turned around. That was the first time in 20 years. Usually they just drive past me, get over there, see the gate, and say, oh, I guess this doesn't go anywhere. But people can get water. We don't care. People can do all kinds of good stuff down there. We don't care. But we are tired of everything else that goes down there.
Thank you. Also, the other property owner in that area was Mr. Green.
Oh, and I apologize. I must have totally misunderstood what you said. When I did speak with you, you talked about drunks and problems with poor people with razors in the middle of the night. People hauling gravel.
Yeah, I'm
so.
sorry if it's misunderstanding, but I never said I wanted it closed.
Okay. Well, public apology. I do apologize. I apologize that I'm not dressed up. I thought this was canceled for today, but I'm with Mr. Hill. We aren't trying to block the locals from going down there, getting their water or whatever. But there's crimes committed daily, if not hourly, down there, several times a day. It's an unlawful place, and we've gotten very little support. We've actually got more support here in the last couple of weeks, and we greatly appreciate that. From my standpoint, I don't want to disrupt a community and start filing. I know Denny Gillespie told me I need to start, taking pictures of people's license plate and charging people trespassing. I'd be charging these guys. That's not my effect. I'd like to be a good, friendly neighbor with everybody and everybody work out well. It's a good area. We just need to keep the drug addicts, drunks, trash, and various other things. And I think we can keep it open to the Appleton community and close it down to everybody else. The battle, that's over. The vast majority was in Giles County. That's been shut down. The road really doesn't go. It goes to the creek. And if the Appleton people can get down there and we can keep everybody else out, that's great. But if we can't, there needs to be further measure taken because of the crimes. And and problems that are associated with it. People literally are on, they're backed out of there. I've had to wake people up at 11 o'clock in the morning that are so intoxicated they can't function. There's just, the garbage, the gunfire in the middle of the night, the threats on my life and my friends' lives when we go down there to ask people to leave. We're just asking for some help. And I'm really asking you guys to do the right thing. The road dead ends on my property. I own both sides between Jeff Hill and I. If this was, I understand the community support, and I don't, like I said, I don't want to block them out. And I believe we can work with them, but I can't work with the free world to get down there. That's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Green. We have another group with us tonight from Ms. Jeannie Appleton from Iron City Water District. Jeannie?
I wasn't prepared for all this. This is my first meeting, but I'm here to represent our city, and our water system is in really bad. We have really bad loss of water, and we need help with it. We need to have an engineering study done on it, and we can't afford it. We have at least 95% of our people in our city wants St. Joe to take us over anything to help us, but we've never asked anything from the county, from Orange City, to help us to get this money to have an engineering study done on our water system. And I like living there. I've always lived there, and I'll live there till I die. There's good people there, and we've got to have cheaper water. We've got to have water. You can't do without water. And we've done better. We've improved. We've done better, but we just got a bad lossage. And we need it. We need some help on it. We've never asked for help. We need some help on it.
What's your current water loss?
About 55%. We're losing half of our water that we're buying from St. Joe. And we can't do that. It's just making our water too high. And we've improved on our money situation. It's better. But we're just asking for some help to help us fix this problem. And we've got another solution. We're going to try to work things out. But we got to have an engineering study. We can't go on without one. So we just would like some help.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Also, we have Representative Barry Dawes.
I came down here first. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for being willing to serve your community. I think it's admirable, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I seen an article in the paper the other day where Resolution 2016-726, Item 8 on your agenda today, and I read that article, and that resolution urges myself and Dr. Hensley to look at a bill that was passed some time ago. The article referred to that bill being passed, I think, in 2015. I wasn't aware of that law. I called Senator Hensley. He wasn't aware either. So I called up to my assistant and had him research this bill, talked to the comptroller's office, and found out that the bill originally, first it was revised in 2011. The revision in 2011 as it relates to the utility districts was a very minor revision. It had to do with which court the parties would attend if there was any court matters to be discussed. But the primary bill was passed in 1987. So I pulled the voting record and come to find out Representative Calvin Moore voted for that bill and supported it. And after reading the bill, I agree with him. I think it's a very needed bill. The bill does a lot of things, but the part that relates to utility districts, I talked to the comptroller today to find out what the need back then was for this bill, and come to find out that prior to 1987, there was a lot of utility districts across the state that was being managed very, very badly. Some of them distressed to the point to where the state had to take them over. The comptroller's office had no power whatsoever to force a utility district to do anything. So there was a need for some oversight over the utility districts because they weren't being run properly. I want to point out that the comptroller is not there to serve the state. It's not there to serve counties. It's not there to serve cities. It's there to serve ratepayers and taxpayers. So the comptroller is the protection of the ratepayers and taxpayers. And if we strip this power away from them, utility districts are once again going to be able to go out and mismanage themselves, and no one is going to have the authority to get them in line. Now, after reading the article, I seen that the real intent here was to reverse a portion of it, which gives them certain powers. So I tell you, I appreciate the county commission's calling on me, and I know Senator Hensley does as well, and I would gladly sit down with any of you. I've not had a chance to study and research the entire bill, but it very well may be that too much power was given in 1987. If we deem that too much power was given, I would gladly look at a resolution to take some of that unneeded power away from them. But I will tell you, looking at the vote, it was unanimous, and there was great discussions, many amendments. All of it was unanimous. So I feel like that, the wisdom of the legislature, I feel like they debated this enough and had the guidance of the comptroller to know what they were doing. And it's been basically unchanged since 1987. So I think I would really sit down and study. You can pass this resolution, guys, tonight if you want to, item number 8. I will gladly look into it. But what you're asking me to do is reverse the powers. And I think what we're doing is taking the power away from the comptroller to protect the ratepayer and the taxpayer. Now, I don't think that you really intend for me to do that. So with that said, I will gladly sit with you guys anytime. I'll get the comptroller's office down here if you need me to and sit with you. I know this has come up because of the issue of Iron City and St. Joe. I want to point out, since I've got 2 minutes left, I want to point out that I met with your utility committee a few months back. I brought the comptroller with me because I've been working with 187 people from Iron City that are in desperate need. Their average water bill is $131. The average water bill at St. Joe is $71 average in Iron City, $31 average in St. Joe. But that's the average. Most of the people in Iron City with a household with kids, they're paying over $100 water bill. That is the most distressed area of our county. So I've been working with them for over a year trying to find a solution for them. The solution is an engineering study. I brought the comptroller to the utility committee. I told them in front of the comptroller that if you will fund the study, $8,500, if you will fund the study, I will personally guarantee a grant to fix any problem that Iron City has. And I said it in front of the comptroller. I think 4 or 5 of you guys were there. I think the utility committee voted in favor of that, but I think then when it went to the budget committee, it had failed. I think there's some miscommunication there. But I want to let the people of Iron City know that my job is to help the people of this county, and I want to help the people of St. Joe and help the people of Iron City. And if there's any grant monies needed to solve some problems, I'm here to do that. So with that said, thank you very much, and I would urge you to consider your vote on item number 8. It's okay to pass it. I won't be able to change the law until January when we go back into session. But if you want to go ahead and pass it, that's fine. But be careful in what you're urging me to do, because you're taking power away from the comptroller who defends the ratepayers. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all the public comments we have. We've got a couple of housekeeping items that we'll take care of, and then I asked the commission to pull up the resolution on the Appleton Road up to the front, and also on the resolution that Representative Doss had just spoken about, because that takes care of the most of the people in here. And I hate to make all of you sit through our commission meeting just for some housekeeping issues. But the first item that we have tonight is the approval of the bi-monthly financial report, fiscal agent.
And without.
Got a motion by Wayne Yocum. Who did the second? Abram Story. Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Need a motion for the bi-monthly financial report of the Director of Schools.
Move it up.
Got a motion by Denny Gillespie. Got a second by Shaney. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We have a report of the Resolution Committee.
Move to adopt.
Got a motion by Chris Jackson, second by Wayne Yocum. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. The final housekeeping issue is the election of notaries.
Move to adopt.
Got a motion by Brandon Brown, second by Atlanta Harris. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? If you would, if you turn to the last resolution, we have item number 9 for tonight. That is the petition of Mr. Green and Mr. Hill for the closure of Appleton Road. Charlie, do you have any comments that you want to make on that?
Well, I think all of you should have received the letter I wrote in your packet explaining the statutory law regarding closure of roads. As I said, it's somewhat archaic and convoluted. The petition is to the commissioner in the district. Instead of a jury review, we have the county highway committee review it. Held a hearing, a committee hearing where the public got to express their views along with the petitioners, Mr. Green and Mr. Hill. The standard is not clear cut, although I did quote in that letter, and you will notice TCA section 54-10-212, which is concerning landowners who own all the land surrounding the road. Technically, the way their statute reads, Commissioner Gillespie could just close it himself if he wanted to. But it does say, if in their discretion they think the public interest will not be materially injured by the action. And the only thing I would urge you is to, when you think of public interest, you initially think, and I'm not advocating one way or the other, but you're somewhat of a judicial commissioner tonight, making a decision what's in the best interest of the public interest. There's evidence of crime that goes on, pardon me, I'm sorry, crime that goes on in that area. And of course, public interest is not served by crime. There's evidence of historical use and long use of that property by the general public in that area. And of course, that is in the public interest also. Not a lot more proof than what was introduced by Mr. Green and Mr. Hill, I wouldn't think. I think if they forgot anything or want to make another comment, I think it'd be appropriate for them to make another comment. Or if you have a question of me, I'll be happy to try and answer it.
I guess I haven't pursued looking for more evidence for this too in depth. I guess if it gets shot down today, which I will, I'll continue gathering evidence, and I'll come back with whatever next step on the procedure is. But I believe that we'll be able to mount up a bunch of evidence in a pretty short amount of time.
And I can tell you, I think, as I understand the law, you have rights to appeal to the courts. So this matter could go further.
Okay. That's it.
Also, I don't think that there's been any offense reports filed, any criminal offense reports filed toward any criminal offenses down there. And also, there are offenses of littering all over the county.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
is the resolution on the floor.
it's not a resolution, it's a petition, and I guess we need a motion.
I think I think the appropriate thing with for someone to make a motion to either close the road or let the road remain open.
I make a motion that we vote to keep the road open.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to say something on this, and maybe we can come up with a win-win for both sides. I didn't attend the meeting, but I listened to it in complete on Lawrenceburg Now. And what I'm going to say, why can't you put a curfew on that road? Seems as though everything is happening after dark and after hours. During the day, the people go down there and use it and swim. That's good. All right, let's put a sign up saying no one below this point after a certain time, after dark in the evening, or before daylight in the morning.
But we're open to anything to help him at this point. You know?
And this way, the sheriff can go down there and write tickets if they're there loitering or whatever on the property after dark. And then during the day, the people can go down there and use it, get their water, do what they want to with it.
Are you saying put a gate up during the day?
No, it'll just be a sign.
Okay.
Just a sign, put the sign. And to my knowledge, most of you cemeteries are not allowed in after dark anyhow, because that's where vandalism and everything happens, is after dark. All right, put the sign up on this side of the cemetery where they don't go around the curve and go on down. And if see them down there, call the sheriff and let him come down and do his job.
Well, he could do that without a sign up, would he not?
Well, it'll just be a little more.
But it's a county road. I mean,
He can put the sign on the county road that he can, you know,
Will
there's gonna be an
will it
issue.
still be a county road even though that's there?
We're not gonna close the road. We're gonna,
Okay.
you know, Chris has made the motion to keep the road open, and I'll second it.
Can I not, Mr. Gray, can go down to any time, day or night, but I can't? Is that the way it'll be then?
Well, it's his property.
But it's a county.
No, that's county road.
County road.
Do what?
It's county road, belongs to the county.
I understand that, but Mr. Green, I don't think the sheriff would want to arrest him.
But it's county road.
But
It's our property.
if you got, and you can use it all during the day. But after dark, that's when you said all of the vandalism, the people were
It takes place here today as well.
well, you had pictures of people drunk laid out in the middle of the road down there.
It's
Yeah.
We had one arrest lately that, we had a helicopter down, we had drunks got out. Did you have that, Lawrence, or they have it everywhere?
They were from way down in Alabama
Yeah,
somewhere.
that's just
too.
like
They
there
were
was a drunk
lost,
in
they
my
said.
driveway, but I called the county and they arrested him.
Yeah, we got everybody in here talking.
Well, what my point is that Mr. Hill and Mr. Green, you know, it'd be a win-win for all of y'all down there. I don't want to see the road closed either. And it being a historic site where the battle, Civil War and all of this is done, it used to have a plaque up the way I understood it, but somebody said they shot holes in it or whatever and
Where's
ran
the
away
plaque?
with it. Huh?
Where's the plaque?
It used to be
Yeah.
I did not.
You said you
I did not. Go listen to it again. I said after the twice. I apologize.
My opinion is if they're gonna put up a sign, you know, prohibiting people after a certain time and a certain time in the morning, if you're gonna prohibit the people, then he should not be there at night either, because what does he have at a creek at night either?
Hey, lock me off. I don't
True.
care. I'll be all
If
my
everybody's
property.
banned, everybody's
Just lock me
banned.
off.
Well, I'm just trying
That
to come
solves
up with
the problem
something
with the people.
I-
that work for all of us.
Could I offer a suggestion to our commission tonight? I would vote tonight to either keep it open or close it And then moving forward, I think you can work on a solution to how you do that. But I think tonight you need to vote to whether you want to keep it open or to close it. And then I do think there needs to be further discussion with them as to what would work for them. Yes, sir, Mr. Monk.
Would you mind repeating what?
I think the option tonight is to vote whether to close it or to keep it open. And if there needs to be further discussions with Mr. Hill and Mr. Green, with discussions talking about the curfew or other things, that you do that later. But I think tonight there needs to be a vote. Whether, I mean, I don't know how the outcome's going to be. If you vote to close it, then the discussion's over. But if you vote to keep it open tonight,
as I've sat here and thought a little bit, the petition or the letter they filed with Commissioner Gillespie is seeking the closure of the road. So I think the motion should be, well, I started saying it should be to close the road, but might not anybody make that motion. So I guess we'll just leave it like it is. But I think you need to act on it one way or
Mr.
the
Chairman,
other.
have we got a motion on the floor?
We do have a motion and we have a
We
second.
did have a recognized second.
yes.
Okay.
Scott Frank, second.
Okay.
Now call,
Well, I call
I
the
call the
question.
question.
I call the question.
All right. You're voting to yes, to keep it open, no, to close it. Okay? So when they ask you, if you want to keep it open, vote yes. If you want to close it, vote no.
We got Ronnie seconded it, so we need to change it.
So we need to change
You
it.
can leave Ronnie, it's fine.
Ronnie was the second. I remember he.
Okay.
That's right.
So if you vote to keep the road open, vote yes. If you vote to close the road, vote no. Everybody clear? Mr. Clerk, would you give me a roll call, please?
Yocum.
Aye.
Story.
Yes.
Spearman. Robertson.
Yes.
Didexes. Modlin.
Yes.
Keaton.
Yes.
Jackson.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Gillespie.
Aye.
Franks.
Yes.
Eaton.
Yes.
Clifton.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Brewer.
Aye.
Benefield Ronnie.
Yes.
Benefield Delano.
Yes.
Anybody wish to change their votes? Floor's closed. 16 and 2 absent. 16 and 1 voting.
The vote is to keep it open. If there needs to be, Mr. Hill, Mr. Green, if I don't know if the community would be willing to participate in further discussions with that. If they are, we'd be glad to help through the highway committee to facilitate some of those meetings to see if there's a workable solution, whether it be through a curfew or whatever that might be. But I think at this point it would be wise to involve the community to see what might work a viable solution for both of you. And I appreciate your
Set up a time to meet. I don't know how that goes forward.
We can schedule a highway committee meeting to do that and then invite some of them back at that point to see if there's something that would work for them.
Real quick, does anybody from the community have any ideas, or does anybody just want to leave it 100% open?
100% open.
I'd like
100%
to
open.
make a statement. That's a national military battleground. All right, Davy Crockett Park has got a curfew. The gate closes at a certain time. Now, I love going down. My family lived on Mount Zion, just up the creek. My ancestors fought in that war and died down there. The Union Confederate soldiers buried in the same cemetery. And then there's a slave cemetery down there, and there's a Chickasaw burial ground down there. I'm like the commissioner, but I think there could be a curfew put on it, and that should solve the problem. But it should also be understood that the fire truck, if they need water, they go to the creek and get water. Any emergency vehicle. Well, I mean,
But you know what the curfew time is.
Mr. Green, I'd be happy to schedule a highway committee meeting to see if we can.
Yeah, I didn't have to get that.
I agree with you, Mr. Hill. Yes, sir.
I mean, I live with a dead end road. I get
Bob,
there
you gonna be the
everywhere.
mayor of Appleton? You're gonna be my contact. We'll contact Bob and Linda. We get the meeting set up, we'll contact Bob and Linda, and we can have some further discussion with that or something we think might work for everybody. Okay? You folks are welcome to stay for the rest of this, but it's gonna be like a boring sermon.
Well, I appreciate everyone's time.
Thank you.
Jason, Mr. Green.
I think Brandon needs to be the mediator.
We had to go whether it's open or closed.
Hey, you know what? Thank you. Thanks a lot.
While we got Representative Dawson and Senator Hensley here, we'll go ahead and vote on this resolution 201-607-2608, which is a resolution urging them to reverse some of the language in that law.
Move we adopt.
Second. Got a motion by Chris Jackson and a second by Wayne Yoakum. A yes vote would be in favor of reversing it. A no vote would be opposed to reversing it. Could I get a roll call, Mr. Clark? Yeah, anybody got any discussion?
Yes, no vote is leaving like it is.
No vote is leaving it like it is.
I would like to say something, and Mr. Doss, regarding the changes, I think the main issue that we had with it is the provision that it allows the comptroller to force one utility to take over another utility.
Sure.
You know, and
I
that's
was unaware
that's
of
the
that.
only provision that we're really got the issue
I was
with.
unaware of that provision
Yeah.
until when I came to the utility committee meeting with your utility committee, the comptroller's attorney was there, and they pointed out that they have the authority to force that to happen. Now, Dr. Hensley and I have called the comptroller, let them know that neither one of us are going to stand by and let them force any community to do anything that it want to without absolutely justifying why it's going to. I will tell you this, it's never been exercised since 1987. They have never forced anybody to take something that did not want to take it. So they've never exercised that provision. The reason that provision is in there, in the wisdom of the 87 legislature, is because at back then, there was some very, very terrible utility districts that would not listen to anybody, and they just done what they wanted to do, and they had to force some consolidations. But we have both let them know that we're not going to allow them to force anything, but you never know when that provision may be needed. I will tell you it's never been used, and we're not going to stand back and let them use that in our county without a fight.
Chris?
I echo what Scott says. That's the only beef that I have with the law. Yeah, and from everything that I was able to find, that is the relevant section from 2011 that was updated. And the lady, the lawyer from the state that was there that day, she said that kind of added more teeth to that provision in the Tennessee code that allows the comptroller to basically force to negotiate. And then if the state doesn't feel they've done that in good faith, they can take them to court, and a judge can decide whether the consolidation is good for both entities. Our concern, my concern more than anything is that St. Joe's made it clear that they're not interested, and they've even put that in the form of a letter to the Budget Committee, and they've put it in their minutes in St. Joe government. But yet after that, they've already been sent a letter from the comptroller's office beginning these proceedings saying they're going to have to sit down and negotiate after they've already made it clear. I think that's a waste of time. I think it's an overreach. I think we'd be better suited to finding a way to help the people of Iron City instead of trying to force St. Joe to do something they don't want to do.
You're exactly right, Commissioner, and that's why I come to your utility committee and ask you to fund that $8,500 study, because we've been told that there's $200,000 to $300,000 worth of problems down there. And I told you in that committee that day that I will personally guarantee you $200,000 to $300,000 worth of grant money to fix those problems if y'all would fund the study. You're exactly right. We are not going to allow anybody to force St. Joe to take anybody over up to our power. However, there are some districts out there that can totally mismanage. And if they continue to mismanage and you don't have the comptrollers the ability to force something to happen, you could have some vogue utility districts out there that just won't listen to anyone. I want to stress they've never exercised that option. We're not going to let them exercise that option. But furthermore, we intend on fighting, and I told you guys that day in front of the comptroller, St. Joe is in bad need or desire to have a water treatment plant. Right now, the comptroller's office has told me that they cannot give over $1 million to a utility district that only has 500 customers. But I negotiated with the comptroller's office and asked them if they would take over Iron City, they could lower the rate of Iron City's water, cut their rate in half, make a $60,000 profit, double or make their utility district 250 new customers, which adds 50% to their customer base. And then I asked the comptroller, would that make them more competitive to receive a grant? They said, absolutely. And I said, can I tell the city of St. Joe that I will work my bones off to get them that grant, and I will personally guarantee them to get that grant? The comptroller said, we can't guarantee you that, but they looked at St. Joe and said, you need to listen to Representative Doss because he can get it done. So what I'm trying to tell you is, I'm going to bring enough money down here to fix the problems of Iron City. I'm going to help St. Joe get a $1.4 million water treatment plant that they desperately want. But guys, 250 customer utility district is badly mismanaged, and then St. Joe don't have enough customer base to warrant us putting that kind of money in a district. I'm going to continue to help both of them, and I will also sit down with you as a county commissioner or county commission to see if there's some power we need to take away from the comptroller office. But I want to stress to all of you guys, the comptroller's primary goal is to look after the ratepayer and the taxpayer, not the utility district. So any power we take away from the comptroller, we're not taking it away from the city, we're taking it away from the people. And I want to caution you about that because the people have nobody else to go to other than the comptroller.
The county executive actually puts people on these boards. I mean, that is a way, and there's been a bill, I know, before the legislature that's asked you guys to change the whole system so that people could elect utility district members.
Absolutely.
So that would be the more democratic thing to do.
Sure, and I would absolutely sit down with you guys and listen to your advice. And if you guys, that's the way government's supposed to work, Commissioner. And I applaud you for engaging Senator Hensley and myself. We as elected officials on the state side need to work with county commissions, and I'm fully committed to working with you in anything you think that needs to be changed. We will work work diligently to try to see fit that it changes the way that you feel that Lawrence County needs. Now, but I want to stress, comptroller is not state government. The comptroller is there to protect the people, the ratepayer and the taxpayer. So you think that this is state overreach? It's not. It's comptroller. The comptroller keeps the state in line. They audit the state and keep us in line. They audit the cities and the counties and the utility districts to keep them in line to give protection to the ratepayer and the taxpayer. So be careful in what you ask me to do because we're taking power away from the people that represent the ratepayer and taxpayer.
I got a question, Mr. Chairman.
I had a lady in the audience that had a.
I want to correct something here. Orange City Utility District has been mismanaged for the past few years.
Absolutely.
It's not being mismanaged now.
No.
We are on the right track.
That's right. Matter of fact.
Nobody stepped in and done anything for the years that it was being mismanaged.
That's right. That's exactly right. And I will tell you, the first thing this new committee done, the new board members done after TR went down, appointed the new ones, is cut their payout. And I applaud them because now the comptroller tells me that they are taking every step to correct the mismanagement that's taken place at Iron City. And guys, the people of Iron City need help. I thought
The
that it was a
comptroller
little.
didn't do it, the people of Orange City did it.
That's absolutely, absolutely. And the comptroller knows that you guys are running it the way it ought to be run today. I thought it was very little to ask that the county spend $8,500 to do the study, because here's the theory, commissioners. If Iron City does the study, St. Joe could look and say, well, we're not going to pay attention to their study because they're the ones that paid for it. If St. Joe don't want to pay for it because they said, well, we may not take it over, so we're not going to spend our money. That's the theory and why I came to the county commission and asked them to do it, so that gives me the tool to not only get Iron City some money to correct their problems, but also give St. Joe the ability to look at an educated study that shows what the problems are. If they will study that, and I think the comptroller has the ability to force them to sit down and look at the data. That's not going to hurt anybody. But I have made it very clear to St. Joe and to the comptroller, you're not going to force them to do anything without a fight, because it's not right. We're not there to, the comptroller's not there to force somebody to do something that doesn't have to be done. But we do know, we've already shown Iron City, TR went down there with me twice with the comptroller to the city of St. Joe. We've been to the county commission 3 times. I've worked on this for a year and a half. So here's the end result. Grant money to fix Iron City's problems, cut their water rate in half, 50% addition to the customer base of St. Joe, and make them much more competitive to get a $1.2 million grant to get a new treatment plant. And I have personally put my career on the line saying I will personally guarantee those grant monies. Now, all we need to do now is do an $8,500 study to initiate this. And the people of Iron City, have signed a petition, 184 signatures, separate individual customers on that petition saying that we want St. Joe to do it. I understand St. Joe told TR and I and the comptroller, if you do the study, we'll look at the study. But then a week later, somebody talked to them and they've changed their mind. So we went back to them and asked them again. And they said, okay, we'll look at the study. A week later, they changed their mind. Somehow, I feel like that there's a lot of miscommunication going on, guys. I have no motive other than to help every single person in this county. I want to help St. Joe. It would make me so proud to be able to go to St. Joe and hold up a check for $1.2 million. It would make me proud to go to Iron City and say your water rate's going to be cut in half, and here's a grant for $200,000 to fix your problems. That's why I serve. But I need help. They need help. St. Joe, right now, their stance is we don't want it. But looking is not going to hurt anyone.
Mr. Chairman.
Hey,
I'd like to hold it for a moment. Barry, what I'm saying is with the law, I'm not talking about just water utility boards. That's different. We're talking about a city, a municipality that's got an elected mayor and elected aldermen that's running that city, that is saying, they're looking at your proposal and they're saying no. Now, I know that you say that you're going to fight for them, you're going to be firm, and I believe you on that. But when it gets in the judicial system, Barry Doss, Wayne Yoakum, and Joey Hensley is not going to have no say-so.
Sure.
So that's the part of the law that I'm very concerned about, is they have got that option that they could take it to court and could force a municipality to take it. And you're right, it's never been challenged. It ain't never been challenged. But I also know through conversations on what you have said, you're done moving in on Loretta, interested in on West Point. Well, they're telling me we're not interested.
Sure.
So St. Joe's Dairy got a letter from the state telling them that they are going to move forward with it. Now, I'm for helping Orange City Water any way we can.
Enough to spend $8,500?
If it don't tie another water municipality with it, making the state where that they
And Commissioner, I applaud you that because I told your utility committee, take St. Joe out of the equation. St. Joe doesn't have to be in the conversation. If you fund the water study, I can go get grant money to help Iron City fix their problems, with or without a conversation of St. Joe. And I told your committee that.
But you also said a while ago they're too small. And that
No. St. Joe is too small to get over $1 million, Commissioner. Iron City is not too small. They're financially distressed, 254 customers, and they're too small to be able to run financially solvent because they don't have enough customer base to generate enough revenue to fix the problems of past boards. So, they need help, and I'm wanting to help them.
If St. Joe, if all the other water municipalities are out of the equation, and we're talking about Orange City only, and there's no repercussion from the state coming later with that study, trying to push it on another municipality, I don't have a problem with
Our
that.
concern was when you get the study and the state thinks that it makes sense for both of them, and then St. Joe says, after they see that, they still say no. They're going to say, well, y'all are not negotiating in good faith.
And we're going to proceed with court.
Yeah, and Commissioner, all I can say is that law was passed in '87. I
But
can
that
tell
part
you,
was not till 2011. The part that gives it more teeth, which is listed in our resolution, that's
the,
and it's never been tested. I'm not willing to
You heard me
test
tell
it.
the comptroller, we're not going to allow them to do anything that should not be done. And I'm going to
Because
fight
we-
them tooth and tail.
You can speak up to 2 times on a subject, so
Could
I'll try to.
I ask Barry a question? Why, when y'all had that meeting down here in the comptroller and I, why did you say there weren't nothing but poor people living in shacks down at Orange City?
Well, here's what I said. I said it's the most economically depressed area of our county, and I have a great deal of sympathy for the people of Iron City.
No, that's not what you said. You said there wasn't nothing but poor people living in shacks, and I've got it on record.
Well,
I can play it for you.
There are a lot of poor people in Iron
Yes,
City.
they
and
are.
I tell you, my heart goes out.
And you know why too? Because people like you and everybody else has just shoved them aside for all these years. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I want, there's a few things I don't understand. One thing is, I'd like to ask Barry, what are the chances of you changing that law, you and Mr. Hensley, even if y'all wanted to? What are the chances y'all changing this law?
Absolutely, and I just gave you a public commitment on tape that I will sit with you and look at every provision, and I'll bring the comptroller here.
But what are the chances of you taking this to the legislature and get this law
Well,
changed?
to be honest,
You gotta have a bunch of votes.
yeah, to be honest, it will not pass.
See, that's what I'm saying. So we're discussing nothing.
Yeah,
We're just getting stirred up over nothing here.
The comptroller.
This right here is not gonna do a bit of good.
That's right.
And this other meeting we had, apparently, this was when I had one of my operations, because I don't remember a darn thing y'all been talking about. Is this right, Brandon? Was this one I missed?
I remember it. I don't remember if we voted for the $8,500, it tied St. Joe to it. I've never heard it separate. I've never heard it say. I've never heard it said if we give, because I don't think this commission would have any trouble giving Iron City $8,500
That's
if it didn't tie St. Joe to it.
Sure.
But that was
That's what I
our
said about
understanding.
miscommunication.
That was our understanding, and I believe it was most of our understanding at that meeting. That's the way it was.
That's the way it was presented to the budget committee when it failed. Now, when we went to the utility committee, I let the utility committee to know that with or without St. Joe, if Iron City has problems, I can get them grant money to fix those problems.
All right, we've got, did we have a motion? We had a motion by Chris and a second by Wayne. Could we call a question on that?
Mr. Chairman, can I ask one thing? If the sponsors would allow, since it appears that it starts off in there, whereas in 2015, that should be in 2011.
Yes, sir, that's
And
fine.
any reference to 2015 would be changed to 2011.
Yeah.
I'll just correct that when I send it to final.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Mr. Clerk, if you give me a roll call, please.
Yocum.
Aye.
Story.
No.
Spearman. Robertson. Nick says. Modlin. Keaton.
Yes.
Jackson.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Gillespie. Franks.
Yes.
Eaton.
No.
Clifton.
Yes.
Brown.
No.
Brewer.
No.
Littlefield Ronnie.
No.
Littlefield Delano.
No.
Anybody wish to change their votes? Vote is closed. Yes, 6 no's, 2 absent.
What was the count again?
10-6.
Guys, if y'all want me to bring the comptroller down, and if you'll organize a meeting, I will gladly bring the comptroller down, and anyone else that you want me to bring down, and I'll sit with you anytime that's convenient for you guys, and we'll look at sponsoring some some laws. I personally don't think that we can get it passed. I've talked to Senator Hensley. He's willing to work with me on this to try to take some of that power. But personally, I don't think we can get it passed because the comptroller is going to be fighting us on it.
If we have it, I'd love for all parties to be in the room so we can all be clear.
Absolutely.
The city, St.
Yeah.
Joe, the county, the comptroller, and the state.
Sure.
So there's no miscommunication.
Absolutely. Now, since we've cleared the air, I think we've got a commitment from some of you commissioners to do a study to help Iron City. And I'm telling you today that if you do that study and we find problems, I'm going to bring grant money to Iron City to fix those problems.
All right. Now we're back in the right order.
Finally.
Yeah. Finally.
So much for a quick meeting.
Yeah. The resolution is, back in our order, is approving the minutes of the regular session from May.
Move it out.
Got a motion by Wayne Yocum, a
Second.
second by Russ Brewer. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Next resolution is approving the minutes of June 28th special session.
Move it out.
Second.
Got a motion by Wayne Yocum, second by Russ Brewer. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Next is a resolution to confirm appointment of members to the Lawrence County Municipal Airport Board.
Move it out. Second.
Who made the motion? Brandon Brown made the motion, second by Wayne Yocum. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next resolution is a resolution appointing members to the Lawrence County Library Board.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Got a motion by Russ Brewer, second by Scott Franks. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next resolution is a resolution appointing member to Buffalo River Regional Library Board.
Move to adopt.
Got a motion by Atlanta Harris. Second by Scott Franks. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The next is the resolution to provide matching funds for various grants received by the Lawrence County Volunteer Fire Departments and members thereof.
Move to adopt. Second.
Got a motion by Chris Jackson, a second by Wayne Yocum. Any discussion on that? Can I get a roll call, please, Mr. Clerk?
Yocum.
Aye.
Story.
Yes.
Spearman. Robertson.
Yes.
Nick says. Modlin.
Yes.
Keaton.
Because I am the fire chief of the Etheridge Fire Department, I have a conflict of interest in the proposal about to be voted. However, I declare that my argument and my vote answer only to my conscience and to my obligation to my constituents and the citizens this body represents. I vote yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
Hood.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Gillespie. Frank.
Yes.
Eaton.
Yes.
Clifton.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Brewer.
Aye.
Littlefield Ronnie.
Aye.
Littlefield Delano.
Yes.
Anybody wish to change their votes? Floor is closed, 16-4, and 2 absent.
Next resolution is a resolution approving the bond of Constable Burton Luna.
Move it out.
Second.
Guys ready to get out of here? Got a motion by Wayne Yoakum, second by Russ Brewer. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? We've got one other item that we need to do under the suspension of the rules, and that is resolution to approve the flood damage plan.
I move we suspend the rules for consideration of the resolution for the purpose of amending the flood plan in this county.
Okay, we've got a motion, got a second by Brandon Brown. All in favor of suspending the rules? Aye. Opposed? Okay. This resolution is the resolution of Lawrence County, Tennessee for the purpose of amending the Lawrence County flood damage prevention resolution regulating development.
Yeah. Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Can you wait just a minute?
Yes.
We should have announced that.
You should have, you need to announce it.
Can we do that now?
Commissioner Gillespie was going to bring up another item to suspend the rules for, it should have been voted on at the same time the other one was. So without objection, if he could bring it up after you consider the floodplain resolution.
I'll tell you what it is, it's $8,500 for the study for Iron City.
And that was the subject of a resolution previously within the last 3 meetings of the county commission. It would more or less be bringing that one back up. I don't remember exactly when it was.
No, we'll be bringing that one back up because that one was tied to St. Joe.
This is a standalone.
This is a standalone.
Yeah, I mean.
That's what I intended to do.
I mean, as long as we're clear about this now.
We make it as clear as a word.
I would love to see the language
Yeah.
of how it's going to be worded, because that's going to be.
We can word it right here tonight, right? Charlie?
I guess you can.
That's
You
no
got a scrivener
problem.
to word it.
Huh? You got to put in words if it's a resolution.
Yeah.
We can go on that.
I guess we can continue on with this, but this is to the amendment that for Joe Baxter in the flood plan. So,
I can explain this right quickly.
if you can, Joe.
We've been, some number of years now, we've been undergoing a map modernization program with FEMA to identify the flood risk areas, and our last action on this was 2009, which that was the last resolution, and since then we've had a lot of maps produced, digital maps, and we need to add those new map panels to our resolution. So basically it's a maintenance item. We'll have more probably at some other point in the future, then I'll have to send a copy of this to FEMA, and they will keep our flood insurance program in good standing. If we don't, we'll get suspended. So, but we've already been using these maps. They're great. Most of these are in the southern part of the county. We have 16 panels now. We didn't have that many before. We had some areas that never been mapped. So it's just to add those 16 panels to what we're already doing.
I think the typo, top of page 2, I think it should say November of 2015 instead of 16.
Okay.
So we can just make that correction.
It will. That is correct. That needs to be 2015 on the last page instead of 2016. We'll make that correction before we submit that.
Move we adopt.
Got a motion to adopt by Chris Jackson. Got a second by Wayne Yoakum. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Now, Commissioner Gillespie, did you want to introduce that under the suspension of the rules?
Yes, I would like to put a resolution on the floor to allow Iron City.
Well, let me say, if this is closed, Commissioner Gillespie, may I?
Sure.
Resolution to amend the budget to make it, and I'm not sure if the county is going to be the contractor or the Iron City Utility District with the engineering study, but to make an $8,500 contribution to the Iron City Utility District or to pay for an engineering study for the Iron City Utility District for the purpose of doing the study, an engineering study to determine what's needed to repair water leaks in the system.
That sounds good to me. And it's not tied to St. Joe in any manner.
Yeah, but it's not saying it isn't either.
Good Lord.
afraid if we leave it vague enough, they can use it, but Denny, I mean, their stated goal was consolidation, so.
But I don't think, that doesn't tell me that St. Joe's gonna be
Did
tight.
he make a motion?
Denny is
Yes, it
making
is.
I
a
second
motion
that.
for what I just read. To suspend the rules a second time.
Suspend the rules the second thing you can.
Well, he couldn't talk fast enough earlier. He was trying to do that.
Well, I was wanting to make sure I was right.
Is Dean's motion is to suspend the rules a second?
So I've made the motion to suspend the rules for
again.
approval of that resolution right there. Again, right.
So we need to vote on suspending the
Now I need a
rules.
second.
Yeah.
Did you second that?
He seconded it.
I got a second by Avery and Story.
Right.
All right. All in favor of suspending the rules to discuss this?
All right.
All opposed? All right. Now, do you want to put the
The
resolution on the floor now?
resolution was as stated.
Okay.
Charlie's
Resolution,
getting the work done right now.
Is Mr. Dawson them still here?
Give Charlie just a minute.
Step back in.
the resolution, Charlie, I would think would be to make a contribution to the Iron City Water District for them to do the engineering.
Yeah, I think earlier we were contributing the money to the St. Joe, or St. Joe, City of St. Joe Municipal Water.
To do the study.
It was tied to St. Joe, that's correct.
Does the county need to do it, we need to do it through Iron City?
Guys, I would suggest the county to do it because any involvement Iron City has, somebody, whether it's whoever it is, they're always going to say, well, they paid for it and they controlled it and they made the numbers look like this. Y'all need to do the study. You need to contract with an engineering firm. Now, I will tell you, I called Hires and Coons, or it used to be Hires and Coons. Now it's Goodwin, Mills, and Kaywood. Mr. Greg Edrington, that all of you are probably familiar with. They used to be the engineer for St. Joe, and they used to be the utility engineer for Iron City. So they know both systems very well. I called them and asked them what an engineering study of a utility district usually costs. They said about $15,000. We do a lot of work with them at my company. And I asked them to do me a favor and do the thing at a much reduced rate. And they agreed to do it for $8,500. I think they'll still honor that, but I'm not sure. But I would suggest that the county or the utility committee call them or some other engineer, get the thing done, and you guys control that study. That way you can look at anybody, whoever we're dealing with, and say, here's the study. Now, goal one should be, let's get a grant money to fix Iron City system, because that's going to help them be more successful in the future. So I would strongly suggest you let the county do it, and you be in control of it.
Mr. Goff?
Yes.
I'm assuming that you'll go on record here tonight of saying that if this study's done, consolidation between St. Joe and Orange City is over.
No, I can't tell you that, Mr. Yocum, because I don't have the ability or the power to tell you that. What I will go on record to say is that if the comptroller tries to force St. Joe to do anything that they do not want to do, I will be their biggest ally, and I will fight tooth and toenail to stop anyone from forcing St. Joe to do what they do not want to do.
Okay. Well, as of right now, St. Joe does not. After they receive that letter, they don't want no part of going up there and negotiating.
Well, I think they're going to be forced to negotiate. And I don't think I can stop that, Commissioner. I don't have the power to stop them from forcing the negotiation. Now, negotiation does not mean take them over. Negotiation means sit down, look at the numbers, see how it will benefit your customers, see how it will benefit theirs. From that point on, we will step in and I will do everything I can to stop
All
them.
right, now, answer me this question. What have they got now to sit down and look at? They ain't been no study done.
No.
So what have they got to look at?
I don't know, but there again, I can get the comptroller down here and talk to you guys and let them tell you what their plans are. And Chris, you heard me tell the comptroller, I'm not going to allow them to force St. Joe to do anything. But I will tell you this, Commissioner Yocum, the comptroller sat with TR and I and showed the city of St. Joe how they can make a $60,000 profit year one after they cut the Iron City rate in half and still make a $60,000 a year profit. My goal is not for St. Joe to take them over. If we can get a grant to fix Iron City's problems and let Iron City go on its merry way, that's all I'm interested in. But there's another ulterior motive here. St. Joe really wants a treatment plant. It's going to cost about $1.4 million. And the comptroller has told me, Barry, we cannot put that kind of money in a system that only has 500 customers. So my other goal, Commissioner, was to, if they could see fit to take over Iron City, that makes them 750 customers instead of 500. And then I asked the comptroller, would that make them more competitive to get the grant? And they said, absolutely. So my goal was not to hurt St. Joe. My goal was to make them more competitive for the treatment plant, make Iron City get grant money to fix their problems, make St. Joe have a $60,000 profit, and Iron City to have their water rates cut in half. So it was a win-win all the way around. And I think when St. Joe said yes, and then no, and yes, and then no, I think it kind of upset the comptroller, and they said, well, obviously there's something going on here. We're going to bring them to the table and have an intelligent conversation. I've asked them not to do that until a study is performed where they can talk real numbers. So I think after a study is done,
Do you think you can push them on?
I think
to do
I
that
most
until we
definitely,
get the study?
absolutely, absolutely.
But now you are saying that they're going to use that study to involve St. Joe.
If you want me to try to stop them from even talking to Iron City, I will do my very best today to stop them
Them
from even
talking to St. Joe.
Absolutely. If St. Joe don't want to talk, I will do
Barry, look,
everything.
if St. Joe's in agreement, I've got no problem with this.
Well, they were.
Not whatsoever.
They were in agreement.
That's right. But it's at another point, they brought a letter in writing that cleared the situation up. It went to agree to look at to no.
Sure.
And that's very clear to me right there.
I know.
So.
And I wish we hadn't got to that point, because they had told TR and I that they wanted to look at it after the study was done. And I think had they looked at it after the study was done and seen that they could be profitable, I think it would have probably been different. But I will do everything I can do right now to stop the forced negotiation. I think it hurts nothing whatsoever for St. Joe to look at this. It doesn't hurt them at all. I'm not going to allow them to overtake them. I'm not going to allow it.
Well, where I'm at today, I am not against doing something for Orange City. They need help.
Well, I applaud you for doing that.
But, I'm still afraid, to take action tonight without you getting with the state, putting a halt on that letter. I'm still afraid with this study that they're going to use that at some point.
We're going to use the study, Commissioner, to get grant money to fix that. They have never exercised that. That has to be something extraordinary. They don't force a utility district to overtake another one unless it's extraordinary. Well, there's nothing extraordinary down there. The only problem is Iron City's too small. They're inefficient because they're too small. That's the only problem. There's nothing extraordinary about that. Guess what? Iron City's debt-free today. They got $65,000 in the bank. There's nothing extraordinary, and no one is going to be able to show us that St. Joe has to take over Iron City, because there's no ironclad reasons why they should. Now, is there business sense reasons why they should? Absolutely, and we've shown them that. But there's nothing extraordinary that's going to happen, and we're not going to let that. So if you guys want me to get that postponed, I think I can do it. But I'll bring the comptroller and sit and talk with all of you guys about that.
Well, listen, Barry, I would like to, why don't we all have that meeting and have it as soon as we can? Get all parties in here. Let's all just get the comptroller down here as quick as we can.
Sure.
And then I do not care, after everybody's on the same page and everybody feels comfortable with it, I do not have a problem funding a study for Orange City. I would love to see them get a grant. I would love to see them get one. So, I think we need to hear what everybody's got to say before we fund the study. He's willing to get the comptroller's office down here. I know Orange City will be more than proud to come. I can talk to St. Joe people, let them come, and if Mr. Hensley, if you want to come and And you know, we can lay everything out on the table where everybody's comfortable, everybody understands what's fixing to happen, and I won't have a problem doing the $8,500 for the study.
If I understand Mr. Gillespie's motion was, it don't have nothing to do with St. Joe, nobody but Orange City. They need water, all right? This $8,500 is the first step that's got to be done. You can't put the two together, put one over here and nothing else until this study is done. So that's the motion.
I know.
I will tell you, Commissioner, the grant money would solve one of the big reasons St. Joe does not even interested in looking is because they rode the entire system. All the city commission and the city manager rode the entire system and saw lines going across bridges and under creeks unprotected. So they said there's too many liabilities there for us to even consider taking them over. So that's when I told them that I can get them some grant money to fix that. Now I will tell you, if I get grant money to fix the Iron City District, St. Joe's going to have more interest then. And maybe that's the path we take. That's right. That's right.
And if they do, and if they agree, I ain't got a problem with it.
That's right, but I agree with the Commissioner here. There's no reason to bring St. Joe to the table if they're not interested at this time. Let me report back to you guys and see if I can put that off until we can get Iron City problem solved. And I'll bring them anytime you guys want. I think I can do it in a week's notice. And I can get them down here and let them talk to each one of you. And I'd be happy to do that.
Shane, did you want to comment?
Well, I'm with Mr. Benefield. We're not talking, for some reason, we keep bringing St. Joe into the thing they don't want no part of. But then, what's going to happen later on down the road when they want a water treatment plant? They're not going to be able to get it because they want no part of this negotiation in the first place. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not voting to give them any money for a water treatment plant if they're not willing to sit down and talk right now. The $8,500 starts that process.
And I will tell you, Commissioner, and that's a very valid point. What the comptroller didn't say, they can't help them with the treatment plant. They said we can't give them the $1.4 million that they're asking for because that's a lot of money for 500 customers. What we might be able to do for St. Joe by themselves is do a scaled down version and hopefully get them maybe $500,000 or $600,000. But I don't think that's going to get what they're wanting to put in is a state of the art. There's only 3 communities in the state that has the system that they're wanting to put in, and it is unbelievable. And there's a lot of federal money that they're trying to spend to help energy efficiency grants.
I'll say this, the people of Iron City have stepped up and said, we're doing better. It's time for us to step up and say, okay, we'll use the money to do that.
Again, really, the $8,500 is not got anything to do with St. Joe. It's all about Iron City and the rest.
That's right. You can cut their water bills, if they're losing 55% and you can cut 30% out, their water bill goes down just because of that.
That's right.
So I mean,
a bargain, what Barry's cut it in half.
Well, sure.
15 to 85, I'd say let's vote on it.
You're still getting 254 customers.
Can I say one other thing? I think this is very pertinent. Commissioner told me the other day, he said, Barry, is there any other motives? I want to lay everything out on the table for you. There is a very distinct possibility because the comptroller has told me this. There is a distinct possibility that once the study is done and we get grant money to fix their problems, I want all of you to know that Iron City has a water source. The water plant that they have now and the pumps are functional. There's some cosmetic stuff that needs to be done. But I can just about tell you that once I get Iron City a grant, part of the grant is going to get their water pump back online, which is what it's going to basically do is say, Iron City's going to say, we've got our own water. St. Joe, we don't need your water anymore. So I want y'all to be prepared that that is going to be a possibility that St. Joe, because what we have to do, guys, grant money does not help Iron City unless it lowers their water rates. Their water rates being lowered is what they're going to do. So they're going to have to cut some costs. Fixing their problems will help them, but that's not going to lower their rates. It's going to lower future expenditures. So I want you all to know that if I get them a grant, they're probably
gonna say, let's get our own water source up to running again, and they're not gonna be able to St. Joe anymore. I want y'all to know that, because I don't want you to throw it back on me next year when I get them a grant, and then they quit buying from St. Joe, and some of you say, well, Barry, you're trying to hurt St. Joe.
Barry,
You know,
I can go with this, but I'm asking you to please contact the state, let them be aware that we are in the process of, doing a water study for Orange City, and for them to please back off and hold up on St. Joe. Sure. And then I still think that we still need to have the meeting now. With the comptroller and y'all are down here. But I don't have a problem voting to do the 8,500. So you got a motion? I put a motion on it over here. Second. You got a second over there. All right. Get a roll call. Aaron. This is yes for an $8,500 study. I'm in. No against. Okay.
And I'm assuming it's transferring money from the general fund to, what do you call it?
It will come out of Fund 119.
Fund 119?
Yeah.
For the purpose of funding the engineering study to determine the needs to repair the Iron City Utility District water system.
That's right, yes. Yeah, she'll take it out of 119.
So if you actually voted on suspending the rules,
Yes. And we've got a motion and a second for the $8,500 water study, so, all the way.
Gilman.
Aye.
Story.
Yes.
Spearman. Robinson.
Yes.
Big Seth. Marlin.
Yes.
Key.
Yes.
Jackson.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
Harris.
yes.
Lisby. Aye. Frank.
Yes.
Key.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Brewer.
Aye.
Winfield Rollins.
Aye.
Winfield Dillon.
Yes.
Change of vote.
All right, Will.
We would like to keep our water system. We don't really, we like St. Joe, they could do better, but if we can get our system running, we would like to keep it.
That's good. Thank you, Jimmy. That's good.
We adjourn.
Yep. The motion and a second to adjourn.